everybody, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports, where, as you might have guessed it, we go over everything that happened this week in Philadelphia sports. Again, if you're new around here and you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, it would mean the absolute world to me and all of us here if you could. We want to build the biggest Philadelphia sports community possible and want you, Joel at the back, to be a part of it. Elephant in the room. Wait a minute, LJ, your blue wall's gone. There's no Phillies jersey behind you. You finally listened. What's happened? There's a special announcement at the end of this video. I don't want to get into the soppiness straight away because, hey, we've got an Eagles game to talk about and I've got a helmet to help me get through it. It's not really going to help me at all. It's just nice to look at, really. But there is an announcement, you may have guessed it, that I've now rented an office. The Philly Sports Network has an actual office. Big soppy speech at the end of the video. I'll save that one for later. But let's get on to the game last night, and what an emotional roller coaster it was. We all saw it coming and we all endured it anyway. It's like knowing you hate roller coasters, but you're gonna go on it because your friends are going on it, and you're still gonna end up chucking your guts up at the end because it's just, you have to do it. It's gotta be done. The Eagles lose 24-20 in a heartbreaking loss. They say football is a game of inches, and this one was a game of millimeters. Is there a difference between those two measurements? I don't really know, but it was a close game. The Eagles fall at the final hurdle. After overcoming so much adversity, there were injuries all across the field. Offense, defense, special teams. Pretty sure even Mike Grove twisted his ankle at one point. It was just atrocious. It was the most physical game of football I've seen in a while, and you could tell both teams wanted it. It sounds silly, but you look at some of the other games and you compare it to this revenge game for Atlanta, who have been embarrassed 3 times in a row by T.W.I.P.S and the Eagles. They have been killed in the playoffs. They were killed having to watch the banner come down at the link. They got revenge in the dome, but the Eagles gave it everything they had. We thought all hope was lost. They came out swinging in the second half, but my God, it was not a fun night, to say the least. It was plenty of stress from start to finish, and there's a lot to think about here. Let's start with the man at the centre of it all, Carson Wentz, who started out very wobbly early on, and it seemed as though he picked up a couple of knocks. Now, he exited the game towards the end of the first half and then came back in after a brief spurt from Josh McCown, who did pretty well for a 40-year-old man. Let's be honest, I think he moved the ball extremely efficiently. I think he went 3 for 5 for 24 yards. Not bad, McCown. Not bad. But Wentz, it seemed as though he picked up a rib injury or a knock or something of that nature, because he just wasn't moving the ball with the finesse and the accuracy that he usually does. In 2018, and even in week 1, we saw a much more confident Carson Wentz, and it just seemed that last night he was falling away from throws. That something wasn't quite right. He was clutching at his knee at one point. Was it more a mental aspect that there was a fear of getting injured than the actual injury? I don't know. But either way, Wentz rebounded in the second half with an excellent display to lead what was left of an offense down the field. I mean, we talk about how potent this offense is. There was no Deshaun Jackson, there was no Alshon Jeffrey, there was no Dallas Goedert. Jason Kelce went out for a bit, Jason Peters went out for a bit, and Corey Clement fumbled the ball on the opening kickoff of the second. I don't know anymore. It was an absolute mess from start to finish with regards to injury, and the fact that Wentz carried this team down the field speaks volumes. I mean, let's not take away from the fact that there was a huge 4th down conversion, a 2-point conversion, which actually succeeded until the refs wrote it off. Nice one. My biggest takeaway from the game isn't the injuries, it isn't the offense, and it certainly isn't Ronald Darby, although
you all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you?
Had to be that guy, sorry. It was the sheer character of the team. I mean, how many teams in the NFL will you know that will go down at the half in the way they did to Atlanta, losing such key personnel, then start the second half with a fumble recovery by the other team and still come back to within 1 possession? And had it not been for a Nelson Aguilar drop or a Zach Ertz an inch short of the mark pass, we may be talking about a win. Had it not been for that Drew back 2-point conversion, it could have been a Jake Elliott field goal to win. We just don't know. But I think that the resilience that team showed, the depth was tested, Carson Wentz's health was tested, and we learned much more about this team last night than we did in all of 2018. The identity was clear that they won't give up, they won't say no. We saw a great resurgence from Ronald Darby, who, let's be fair to him, picked off a pass, and obviously Nate Jerry out of nowhere picking off a pass. That's his 2nd career interception. On to the defensive side of the ball while we're here. I thought Jim Schwartz called the game of his life. There's no doubting that. The man was on a mission. The defensive line, though, was sort of like baking a cake without putting the ice on. They bake a lovely cake, it's in the oven, it's smelling good, your mum's complimenting your cooking, you take the cake out of the oven, and drop it on the floor. The icing's on the desk. It just does. You can't get the finished product. They got pressure on Matt Ryan all night, but rarely did that end up in a QB hit or even better, a sack. It was such a shame to see. But shout out to Andrew Sende. Wow, that echoed so nicely in this office. I might just have to. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. For getting his first career sack, a veteran of that level. First career sack. That's emotional. Fair play to him. But Ronald Darby, again, guys, my most disliked video on this channel is me saying that Ronald Darby was the worst signing of the offseason because you all hated it. You were like, hey, Liam, what are you saying? He's the best cover corner. And I don't have a cup of tea to sip. I haven't got that far yet, but it's Carl Energy Drinks for now. Ronald Darby was not in the form of his life against the Atlanta Falcons. Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones ate him alive. Shout out to Rasul Douglas, though, for chirping at Julio Jones like it was pre-season week 3. That's the equivalent of me going up to basically any man alive, given my stature as a tall, lanky, 38-inch vertical inducing monster, and starting. You wouldn't do it. Julio's one of the best receivers in the game, arguably of all time. He set a new franchise record for Atlanta last night, and Rasul Douglas just chirps up to him like he's a nobody. I respect the swagger. It's Rasul season, and we're all here for it. But you know what else we're all here for? Philly Sports Network merchandise, which of course you can cop down at the link below. I don't have all the things to show you because new office, but what I do have is a video of the office at the end of the video, so it's the next best thing. But if you want to buy lovely flight tag hoodies, you can get them at the link in the description down below. On to the Philadelphia Phillies, and do we have to cover them at this? What? We do? Oh, because, yeah, alright, yeah, we do. Sorry, guys. Yeah, basically, they're 4th in the division now. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They went against the Braves, and that went as well as expected. I think they were 2-2. Then the Red Sox came to town and just did Red Sox things, and then they faced the Braves again. Woo! It's safe to say that every week starts with the same sentiment. The Phillies and a wildcard push. It's in the realm of possibility that the team can push on. They can do it. They can climb all the way and be this great underdog. Let's ignite the run. And then Monday happens and we're back to square one. Again. It's the equivalent. You've been around for a while. You know the LJ Love situation. When you long after someone that you can't have and you're there for weeks and every week starts the same. Maybe you get a text, maybe you get a Snapchat and the hope is restored, and then by Tuesday it's all gone again. It's not right. It's not worth it, lads. Just focus on the Eagles for now, alright? They're doing bits. The Philadelphia Flyers started their training camp this week and have their first preseason game tonight against the New York Islanders. Joel Farabee will play his first ever game at Wells Fargo Center. And on that note, guys, we're officially credentialed to cover the Philadelphia Flyers. It's really lame just me clapping by myself. I thought there'd be an audience. It's a wall. So if you could clap along, that'd be great. Let's clap along. Philadelphia Flyers, let's go. I think it's our 3rd year in a row now being accredited at the Wells Fargo. We're fully credentialed with the Phantoms, so make sure you're following along. PhillySportsNetwork.com. We're going to have daily coverage as always. And don't forget that Yariv Wallach will be giving you as much video content as we can from the Wells Fargo. And of course, bringing you recaps and that sort of thing. So plenty of Flyers stuff on the horizon. However, though, there was some more Flyers news where Ivan Provorov signed a 6-year deal with the team. And there does seem to be another move on the horizon in the way of Travis Konechny. Now, we don't know when that's going to be announced. This is sort of an elongated process, unlike Provy, but it's expected that the move will be done. And per my sources, who are my writers who have sources and just tell me because I don't have hockey sources, but there is a special hockey announcement coming, alright? So Flyers fans, all I'm saying is, what happens if you combine LJ and Prague and put them... I'll leave that with you. But Provy has become a great asset to this Flyers team and should be a cornerstone to build around for Chuck Fletcher moving forward. Of course, it's a new era. We don't know who of the old guys are going to stay, who of the new guys are going to step up. It's that weird transition period where Fletcher's going to want to embed his own style of play, and he's done so by adding some great veterans during the offseason. But Provorov figures to be a cornerstone to build around in the future, which is a massive, massive reward for his excellent play during his first stint with the Philadelphia Flyers. The 76ers did something presumably, maybe. Philadelphia Union came away with a monumental win. Now, it wasn't a win-win. It wasn't like a 3-point win or an Isaiah win or any other kind of win or a window. It was a draw against LAFC, but it may as well have been a win because LA are one of the powerhouses of MLS. One of the rich boy teams, that preppy kid at school that has all the gear and no idea is what I call them. Your kid that, when you turn up to golf and you've got a nice set of hippo clubs, he's got all of the TaylorMade and the Callaways and the Titleist, and it's all just come out, and then he shanks every ball to the left. That's LAFC, alright, but they've got all the money. The Philadelphia Union came in, give them a what for. It was an end-to-end battle and resulted in a draw. They sit second in the Eastern Conference. Playoffs seem to be all but a certainty, and we'll be seeing plenty more of them over the coming weeks. So if you've not yet got down to the River End, make sure you do. And finally, guys, of course, that leads us to the big announcement, which is that I have moved into an office, and look at the room. I can move, I can run around. We've got an Eagles helmet for decoration. I'll give you guys a little tour just to see what the deal is. And the best part is, right, we've got midnight green lights. Now, you probably can't see them here. I'm going to try and show. Look at that, right? Eh? So, midnight green lights, it's phenomenal. It's exactly what you want to see. Just a massive thank you, guys. I honestly never thought this would be possible. And the last 12, I know I've been doing Philly Sports Network for 5 years, the YouTube channel for a couple. But this is something that was always so out of the realm of possibility. It felt like a pipe dream. And this last year has been a roller coaster, I had to take a week off of my old job for mental health stuff. I then come back to the old job where I was sort of demoted in a way. I then quit that job and took a leap of faith and went full-time with this, and it has been the best decision I've ever made. But honestly, this to me is the biggest milestone that I think Philly Sports Network has hit, because it just felt like an impossible dream. I never thought I'd have my own office or my own workspace or ever be big enough to warrant one. And for 5 years, it's been a battle of trying to be good enough. And not just for everyone else, but it's the same criticism. I mean, 19-year-old Liam was so on the ropes, and he was backs against the wall, and I dealt with that criticism very differently. Now, someone says stick to soccer, I don't care, it's funny. But back then, 19-year-old Liam, he was just finding himself and not really sure where he really stood in the world. He didn't ever feel belonging. I'm talking about myself in the third person. But, that the stick to soccer, he's British, he doesn't know what he's on about, he's too young, his voice is high-pitched. Stick to soccer this, stick to that, not getting respect. I've been slagged off by media members. I've been indirectly mentioned in articles that are taking shots at me and my coverage before. And you break a story, someone else takes that and runs with it, and they get the credit because they're bigger and more respected. And it's been a constant fight for respect and to be good enough. And, this last year specifically for me, it's been even more so. And it become this desperate search to try and get out and to make this a reality. And I took a leap of faith on April 19th, making this my full-time job. And this whole year has been a total roller coaster. And you know what? Like I said it in the stream last night, the Philly Sports Network has become a community. It's become a home. It's become a place to belong. And I finally feel that I do belong. And that I'm not just kind of seek this validation if I want to be respected as a writer and respected as a reporter or whatever. I feel good enough for me, because as my own boss, I'm not having to chase other people's opinions or other people's standards of what content should or shouldn't be. I'm producing what I love, what I find entertaining, and giving it to you guys. And the fact that you all enjoy it means the absolute world to me. The support you give is unbelievable. And with this job where it's 13, 14 hour days and you burn out a lot on the wrong body clock, it's that support that makes it all worth it, that keeps me going, that makes me want to push that extra mile. So just thank you so much. I wouldn't be here literally without all of you. Whether you love me, hate me, slag me off to your friends, compliment, buy t-shirts, whatever it is. The fact is, Philly Sports Network and PSN season is all of us. It's you, it's me, it's that underdog belief. It's trying to push and give your very best. It's backs against the world, and it's a community of belonging. It's a community where people who don't feel like they fit in can fit in and be part of something bigger. And I never really thought that this would ever turn into that, I always just thought it was going to be me talking about the Eagles, and we've got a family of writers who give me everything they've got every day, and I love them with all I have. I've got the best friends, best family, and you guys who are basically an extension of that. So just thank you so much for making this possible. I'm trying to sort of hold back the tears right now, but it's just unreal to be sat in an office. So guys, that is the end of This Week in Philadelphia Sports. Hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to try and get some stuff on in the background, I might get a signed Eagles stuff, I might get a PSN banner, an LED PSN sign. How does that sound, right? We're going to give you frequent updates if you'd like to see it, but again, there's going to be more announcements and stuff soon. But thank you for all of the support you've given this channel. It blows my mind that I'm in this position and that we're in this position together. So thank you. And from myself, Liam Jenkins, I'll see you. Spin round, please. Spin round, please. Next time.